Why your brain is uncertain? Have you ever noticed how comfortable you feel when you do not know what is going to happen next? You are waiting for an important message. You do not know whether you will get the job. You do not how know if a relationship will work. You do not know whether your decision will lead to success or failure. Nothing bad has actually happened yet, and still your mind starts creating scenario with what if everything goes wrong? What if I make the wrong decision? What if something unaccepted happens? This is not simply overthinking. There is something deeper happening inside your brain. Your brain is naturally designed to resist uncertainty. But why? To understand this, we need to understand one important fact about the human brain. Your brain wants to predict the future. Your brain is constantly trying to predict what will happen next. It uses your past experiences, current information, and patterns around you to create expectation about the future. When reality matches those expectations, your brain feels relatively safe. But when something becomes unpredictable, your brain loses its ability to exactly predict what comes next. And uncertainty creates a problem. The brain does not like problem it cannot calculate. This is why uncertainty can feel threatening even when is nature actual dangers. Imagine walking down a road you know very well. You know how where is the turn where you know what buildings are there. You know what comes next. Now imagine walking through the same road in complete darkness. And the road has not changed, but your brain does not have enough information. Suddenly, every sound feels important, every shadow looks suspicious. Your brain becomes more alert. That is what uncertainty does. It creates a gap between what you know and what you need to know. Uncertainty feels like a lack of control. Human beings have a strong psychological desire for control. We want to know what is happening. We want to know what will happen next. And most importantly, we want to believe that we can influence the outcome, but uncertainty removes that feeling of control. This is why betting can sometimes be more stressful than receiving bad news. At least bad news gives you information. Uncertainty gives you nothing. Your brain is left asking questions without answer, and when the brain does not have information, it often tries to create its own. That's where overthinking begins. Your brain fills the information gap. Suppose someone sends you a message, we need to talk. That's all they say. Immediately, your mind may start producing possibilities. Did I do something wrong? Are they energy? Is something bad happening? Maybe everything is fine, but your brain does not know that. So it starts filling the information gap, and interestingly, the brain often focuses more on negativities possibilities. Why? Because from an unvoluntary perspective, missing a potential danger could have been costly. Our had to pay attention to uncertain, sound unfamiliar environments and accepted changes. Being overly confused was sometimes safer than being careless. The modern brain still carries some of that programming. The program is that today uncertainty usually does not involve a wild animal hiding behind a tree. It may involve a male a financial decision, a relationship, an interview, or unsound message. Yet the brain can still react as something dangerous is appearing. Why we prefer bad news or no news. That explains something interesting about human psychology. Sometimes people would rather hear a negative answer that remain uncertain. A definite no can feel easier than maybe because once the uncertainty disappears, the brain can create a plan. You can accept the situation, you can change direction, you can take action, but uncertainty keeps your mind in a state of waiting and waiting consumes mental energy. This is why people repeatedly check their phones, emails, social media, or messages. They are not always looking for information. Sometimes they are simply trying to reduce uncertainty, the hidden cost of fighting uncertainty. The more you try to climate uncertainty from your life, the more excuses you may become. You check again, you analyze again, you ask another person for reassurance, you search for more information, you imagine different outcomes, and for a few minutes you feel better. But then another question appears. This creates a cycle. Uncertainty creates anxiety. Anxiety creates checking and overthinking. Checking provides temporary relief, and temporary relief teaches the brain wherever I feel uncertain, I must do something to make the feeling disappear. As a result, your tolerance of uncertainty becomes weaker. The solution is not more certainty. The goal is not to create a life where everything is predictable. That's impossible. The real goal is not train your brain to become uncomfortable with not now. Instead of asking, what if something goes wrong? Trying asking, if something goes wrong, how will I handle it? This small change moves your attention from prediction to preparation. You do not need to know exactly what the future will bring. You need confidence that you can respond when it arrives. When you stop demanding certainty from life, your mind slowly becomes calmer. You begin to understand the uncertainty is not automatically danger. Sometimes uncertainty is simply information that has not arrived yet, and sometimes it is an invitation to grow. Final thought. Your brain resists uncertainty because it was built to predict, protect, and prepare. But you do not have to obey every alarm your brain produces. The future will always contain things you cannot control. You cannot predict every conversation. You cannot guarantee every outcome. You cannot eliminate every risk, but you can build something more powerful than certainty. You can build realize because peace does not come from knowing experience. what will happen tomorrow. Real peace comes from knowing whatever tomorrow brings, I will face it. And perhaps that is the moment when uncertainty stops